So thank you very much, everybody. Gianni Infantino is the head of FIFA.
Hello.
He's the biggest man in soccer, and we are, as you probably know, getting the World Cup in 2026 for the United States. Some of it is a partnership with Mexico and Canada, and it's coming into the United States for a large percentage of the games, and we're very excited about it. Plus, Johnny and I just had a meeting on women's soccer and what everybody's going to do to make that even better and more equitable, et cetera, et cetera. So, Johnny, thank you very much. We had a great meeting. Very big, though. We're getting the World Cup in 2026, so that's a big thing. Johnny, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, indeed, it's fantastic to be here and to boost even more soccer in this country. Soccer, which is the #1 global sport. World Cup 2026 taking place here, but we start already now. It's the biggest event ever. It's more than 4 billion viewers all around the world, and we will make it the biggest, not only sports event, but the biggest social event that we can think of. Soccer, which is a big part of this country as well, and women's soccer, where you are world champion. There is much more to do. The president was saying this to me, and he's right, and we are working on that, and we will announce very soon some new initiatives. Thank you.
Well, Johnny, we're going to have to extend my second term because 2026, I'm going to have to extend it for a couple of years. I don't think any of you would have a problem with that, but I hope you're going to remember me in 2026.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Peace talks with the Taliban dead.
Say it.
Are peace talks with the Taliban dead?
They're dead. They're dead. As far as I'm concerned, they're dead. They thought that they had to kill people in order to put themselves in a little better negotiating position. When they did that, they killed 12 people. One happened to be a great American soldier, a wonderful young man from Puerto Rico, families from Puerto Rico. And you can't do that. You can't do that with me. So they're dead as far as I'm concerned. And we've hit the Taliban harder in the last 4 days than they've been hit in over 10 years. So that's the way it is.
Why would you consider meeting with the Taliban, Mr. President?
Out of that meeting with the Taliban?
Say it what?
Your administration, your advisors talked you out of that meeting with the Taliban.
No, actually, in terms of advisors, I took my own advice. I like the idea of meeting. I've met with a lot of bad people and a lot of good people during the course of the last almost 3 years. And I think meeting is a great thing. I think that meeting with, you're talking about war. There are meetings with war, otherwise wars would never end. You'd have them go on forever. We had a meeting scheduled. It was my idea, and it was my idea to terminate it. I didn't discuss it with anybody else. When I heard, very simply, that they killed one of our soldiers and 12 other innocent people, I said, there's no way I'm meeting on that basis. There's no way I'm meeting. They did a mistake. And by the way, they are telling people they made a big mistake. They're saying it loud and clear that they made a big mistake, John.
Why do you want to have them in Camp David, and what would you do about Afghanistan now?
Well, Camp David's held meetings with a lot of people that would have been perceived as being pretty tough customers and pretty bad people. There have been plenty of so-called bad people brought up to Camp David for meetings. And the alternative was the White House, and you wouldn't have been happy with that either. So Camp David would have been a good place, but I don't want to meet under circumstances where they go around and try and make themselves a little bit more important by killing a soldier, by killing actually also a great NATO soldier, in addition to our soldier, and also a total of 12 people. I don't want that. But, Camp David has had many meetings that I guess people would not have considered politically correct. Yes, Steve?
President, did you address concerns the government is handling Russian intelligence?
Well, we're looking at that, and we're thinking about it. As I've said, we've been policemen there for a long time, and the government's going to have to take responsibility or do whatever it is they do. I've been saying from the campaign that we want to get out at the earliest possible time. We're doing a very good job. Our soldiers are incredible, but they're serving as policemen to a large extent. I just made a statement on it. Yeah, we'd like to get out, but we'll get out at the right time.
Are you okay with using the military as...
What? Well, India and Pakistan are having a conflict over Kashmir, as you know. I think it's a little bit less heated right now than it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm willing to help them. I get along with both countries very well. I'm willing to help them if they want. They know that that is out there. David?
Mr. President, are you willing to debate the Republicans who are running against you?
You know, I don't even know who they are, other than I know that, I guess you could say no, but I don't know them. I don't know them. I would say this, they're all at less than 1%. I guess it's a publicity stunt. We just got, a little while ago, 94% popularity or approval rating within the Republican Party. So, to be honest, I'm not looking to give them any credibility. They have no credibility. One was a person that voted for Obama, ran as a vice president 4 years ago and was soundly defeated. Another one got thrown out after one term in Congress and he lost in a landslide. And the third one, Mr. Tallahassee Trail or Appalachian Trail. He's the Appalachian Trail, right? The Tallahassee Trail is nice too, but I think he was the Appalachian Trail. But he wasn't on the Appalachian Trail. He was in Argentina.
Is it fair for you to be president?
Yeah, go ahead. Say it louder.
Are you okay with using the military as a police force on our southern border?
Well, right now, Mexico has been doing a great job for us, and frankly, we're very appreciative, but we've also been pretty rapidly changing the regulations, the rules, winning in court. We've had a lot of wins. We did it early on, but we're having a lot of wins in court right now. The courts are backing us up, and that has a lot to do with our success on the southern border. In addition, a lot of wall is being built, and every time we put up a mile of wall, that helps us a lot.
Are you concerned all about here to offer temporary protection status to people from the Bahamas?
So we're talking to a lot of different people on that. You know, we're recovering from the hurricane also. Florida did get hit, not as hard as we anticipated. And you look at Georgia, you look at South Carolina, North Carolina. I'm going to North Carolina right now, North Carolina, to have a rally for Dan Bishop. But before I go to the rally, we're going to be stopping at one of the sites that got hit very hard by the hurricane. So we're also recovering from a hurricane, but we have to be very careful. Everybody needs totally proper documentation because the Bahamas had some tremendous problems with people going to the Bahamas that weren't supposed to be there. I don't want to allow people that weren't supposed to be in the Bahamas to come into the United States, including some very bad people and some very bad gang members and some very, very bad drug dealers. So we are going to be very, very strong in that. Let me just explain. Large sections, believe it or not, of the Bahamas were not hit. And what we're doing is bringing the people to those sections of the Bahamas that have not been hit. We've done a lot of the USA Aid. We've done a lot of work with our Coast Guard, with our FEMA people who have been phenomenal. I mean, they have been phenomenal. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Well, I saw a statement was just put out having to do with North Korea. And that'll be interesting. We'll see. It just came out over the wires a little while ago. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, we have our hostages back. We're getting the remains of our great heroes back. And we've had no nuclear testing for a long time.
Mr. President, on the 9th judges nationwide injunctions, the 9th District Court,
Yeah.
Judge Tiger, do you think it's constitutional for a judge?
Again, what was the beginning?
With the judge in the 9th District Court, the San Francisco judge that continues to issue nationwide injunctions on immigration policy, do you think that's constitutional?
I think it's very unfair that he does that. I don't think it should be allowed. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of new law being made on that, but we don't think that should be happening now. With that being said, we're starting to do very well in the Ninth Circuit. We're starting to do well all over. We won the lawsuit on the wall. We won the lawsuit on a lot of different things having to do with illegal immigration. That's why a lot of our very strong points are coming out. And in addition to Mexico helping us, we're ending up with some great legal victories now on illegal immigration. That's one of the reasons we're doing so well. Go ahead, go. What? Go ahead, what?
Mr. President, yesterday you tweeted that the prisoner swap between Russia and Ukraine was perhaps the first giant step towards peace. So do you think the United States should join these talks and should join Germany, France, Russia, and Ukraine within the talks called Normandy format?
I think the fact that the prisoner swap took place yesterday with Russia and Ukraine is a very big step, and it's a very positive step. If they needed me to get involved, I'd get involved, but that's really a very, very positive event that took place.
Why are you concerned that the significant drop in illegal border crossings is only temporary and is marked?
Well, you're always concerned that it's temporary, but we now have much better legal protection, and we'd have total protection if the Democrats would get rid of the loopholes, which are there. They could do it in, as I say, 15 minutes. If they would get rid of the loopholes and fix asylum, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. The Democrats want open borders. It means crime, it means drugs, it means human trafficking, and that's what they want. And if they want to run on that, they can run on it. But our people, a lot of the people in this country, and I would say a very large percentage of people, they don't want to have crossings illegal. They don't want to have open borders. They want to have a strong border. And I've always said, without a border, we don't have a country. And without a country, I'll tell you what, we wouldn't be, without that border being strong, we are securing the border like it hasn't been before. And when the wall is built, and it's moving rapidly right now, it's moving very rapidly, the lawsuit wins, the legal wins, we've won a lot. And we've won a lot in the courts over the last year. You know, if you look at the beginning where we were losing, we will have about 180 judges approved over the next 3 or 4 weeks, 180. When I came in, President Obama gave us a beautiful gift. He gave us 138 judges that he wasn't able to get in or didn't pick anybody or couldn't get them approved. 138, I took that. And now when you add the other ones that came through attrition and other things that have happened, we'll have about 180 judges approved very, very quickly. Well, Dan Bishop is a great gentleman, a great man. He's I think he's going to be a great congressman. It was a very close race. I think it's getting less close. If you look at the numbers from 2 weeks ago, and I got involved about 2 weeks ago, and the numbers have gone way up, I think Dan has a very good chance of winning the election. Again, I'm not running, but I have a lot of respect for Dan Bishop. I'm going there now to help him campaign. We're going to be doing a big rally tonight, totally sold out, as always. It's every single one, totally sold out. There'll be a lot of people outside trying to get in, but it's all in honor of Dan Bishop, North Carolina. I hope they're going to go out and vote. It could happen. It could happen. Yeah. No problem with meeting. Iran should straighten out because, frankly, they're in very bad position right now, and they should straighten it out because they could straighten it out very easy.
Can you respond to the reports today that say that you have mishandled classified information to Russia?
No, I know nothing about it. I see the CIA responded perfectly. So whatever the CIA said is fine with me, but I heard they responded perfectly. I know nothing. Well, we're dealing with Democrats, we're dealing with Republicans, we're talking about a lot of different things having to do with, as you call it, gun control, but we are talking about a lot of different things, but at the same time we have to protect our Second Amendment very strongly, and we will always do that. Steve?
What is the matter with President Trump's organizations and understanding about how to go forward on Afghanistan?
Well, my decision was to have a meeting, and I said, you know what, I don't like the concept of having it at the White House. That would be a step too far. There have been many very powerful meetings at Camp David having to do with enemies, real enemies, very big enemies, war, and I thought Camp David would be good, and I still do. The only reason I canceled that meeting is because they killed one of our soldiers, and they killed a total of 12 people trying to build up their importance because they think that's important, except to me it backfired. And they're very upset They feel that they blew it, and they said it loud and clear. They feel they made a big mistake by doing what they did. We're looking very much at human smuggling, and if you look at trafficking, they call it, if you look at what's going on with the human trafficking, we're bringing it down to a much lower level. This should have been done for years and years, but we're bringing the human trafficking, as you can see by the numbers, we're bringing it down. Mostly affects women and children. It's a terrible thing. It's been going on for many years, and we're bringing it down. Well, I just came out over the wires that he'd like to have a meeting. I have a very good relationship with Chairman Kim Jong-un, and it just came out. I just saw it as I'm coming out here. It just came out that they would like to meet. We'll see what happens. But I always say having meetings is a good thing, not a bad thing. No, I'm not. Let people go and help. The Bahamas got hit like no thing that I've ever seen. I've never seen a hurricane it was like a massive tornado more than a hurricane. It got hit like nothing I've seen. Anybody wants to help, that's okay with me. I think it's a good thing. Well, that's always the question. How do you define victory? We beat them militarily, but as soon as we leave, it seems to form again. We would beat them very easily militarily if we wanted to by doing certain things, and I'm not talking nuclear. We could have that over with very, very rapidly, but you'd lose millions and millions of lives, and I don't want to do that. Afghanistan is a very interesting situation. We've been there for 19 years, 19 years, and we're now really policemen in Afghanistan. So what's happening is this. We're talking to the government, we're talking to a lot of different people, and we'll see. But I canceled Camp David on the basis that they did something that they sure as hell shouldn't have done. No, I don't see it as a bellwether. They always ask that question. I mean, you never talk about the fact, as an example, in 18, that we won the Senate. Nobody ever talks about that. The Senate being very important because that's how I'm getting all the judges approved. It doesn't go through the House, it goes through the Senate. So I'm getting all these judges. We'll be up, as I said, we'll be up to 180 judges plus 2 Supreme Court judges. And I don't know if there's ever been a record like that. Oh, President Obama gave me a beautiful birthday present when he gave me 138 judges that weren't approved. And frankly, how do you consider that being a great president when you hand to the opposition 138 slots of federal judges, including appellate court judges, and 1 Supreme Court judge? So that's the story. Well, we got 2 Supreme Court justices, and we'll have, in a very short number of weeks, 180 judges approved, including appellate. And that number from 180 will easily and rather rapidly go over 200. And I don't think there's been anything like that. I would never tell you. I'll tell some people, but I'd never tell you. But we have a very specific number. We have a very specific number. No, I don't see it as building. Look, I have to run. Here's what it is. I think we did great in 18 because the congressmen like Andy Barr in Kentucky and others that I campaigned for, they won. Andy Barr was behind. I went to Kentucky. I campaigned for him. I held 1 or 2 rallies, and the great state of Kentucky brought him. And by the way, the same person that we defeated there is now running against Mitch McConnell for the Senate. And he's going to win. He's going to win. Kentucky is an incredible place. They know they don't give up the most powerful man in the United States Senate for a freshman senator. You just don't do it. Kentucky is very smart. They know exactly what they're doing. But I campaigned for senators. We were supposed to lose the Senate, according to some of you. We ended up picking up 2 seats, which was fantastic. I get no credit for that. If we didn't pick up those 2 seats, I just told you we're going to have 180 judges approved. We wouldn't have had almost any judges approved from the point of the election. So we're very happy with the way we've done. The 18 election, the big thing was I was not running. You know, people say, oh, it was a referendum on Trump. It wasn't. I'm not running. People are running. But I will go and help Dan Bishop. I'm going to be there in a little while. And I assume some of you I'll be seeing. I haven't found out, other than when a plane stops at a massive international airport and gets fuel. I don't own the airport. When pilots stay, I own a lot of different places. Soon you'll find that out. Because I'll be at some point prior to the election, I'm going to be giving out a financial report of me, and it'll be extremely complete. I'm going to give out my financial condition, and you'll be extremely shocked that the numbers are many, many times what you think. I don't need to have somebody take a room overnight at a hotel. So what is happening is the following. Every time you find a person landing an airplane within 500 miles of something I own, Mike Pence, as an example, his family lives in Doonbeg, Ireland. And he's actually told me that he stayed there many years ago at the same. I bought it years ago, but he was there before I bought it, I believe he said, a long time ago. But he was in Ireland, so he said, you know what I'll do? I'll see my family. I didn't know about that, but I can say he has good taste. Of who? I have nothing to do with that. No, because look, the 3 people are a total joke. They're a joke. They're a laughing stock. And I have nothing to do. The 4 states that canceled it don't want to waste their money. If there was a race, they would certainly want to do that. But they're considered to be a laughing stock. They're considered to be a joke. And those 4 states don't want to waste their money. Having primary campaigns and having a primary election is very expensive. We haven't discussed it. I'm not looking to discuss it. We've hit the Taliban and our enemy in Afghanistan harder than we have in over 10 years. So I'm not discussing anything like that. Well, one of the things is that I disagree with the Republican system. When you're the chairman of a committee, we've lost chairman because they can't go from being a chairman back to being a regular congressman or woman. When you're the chairman of a committee, the Democrats, you can stay there forever, like Denny Hoyer and others. He was a good man, by the way, but like a lot of them, they're there forever. As a Republican, you get 6 years. What happens after they're finished, they leave. And I understand that. And frankly, there's good to be said about both, and there's bad to be said about both, to use a famous expression. But let me just tell you, I agree. One of the only things I agree with the Democrats on, I really think it's better to have a longer term. We have to stop forced technology, international technology theft. If you look at what's going on, intellectual property theft with China, just so you understand, our country is doing phenomenally well. There's a chance, I don't want to talk about it, but over a very short period of time, that will hit a yet new record. I think we have 118 records for hitting the top stock market. 2 weeks ago, the fake news was trying to convince people that maybe there's a possibility for a recession. Well, a lot of things have happened, very positive. We're doing very well against China, and we could very well have a new high in our stock market. We have gained trillions of dollars of worth, and China has lost many, many trillions of dollars, including 3 million jobs, including companies that are leaving China. Yes, they want to negotiate very badly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
The president of the Taliban agreed with